Hare Krishna. We can see how important Ganga is in this universe. She is not just a water, which is like a inanimate object, but she is personification of the goddess. She's a goddess who is flowing from the lotus feet of Vishnu, and she plays such an important role in our purification and going back home, back to Godhead. And because even during the last rites, people always say, even if he has been a criminal, somehow if the Ganga is sprinkled on him and Tulsi with Ganga is poured into his mouth and so on, that person can get liberated and go back home, back to Godhead. So powerful is Ganga. And the wonderful thing about these rivers is that through mantra also we can invite them, just like spiritual entities are non-different from their names. Like Krishna, when you address him as Krishna, he appears immediately. And similarly, these rivers are also, Ganga also, when you call out to her, she appears. And we see in Krishna's pastimes where it's mentioned that Krishna could call all the rivers of this earth, pure, his sacred rivers to come, and when he invited them, they all came, and then they inundated the Krishna Kund. So in the same way, when we chant the names Ganga, Ganga, Ganga every morning, His Holiness Jayaptak Swami has mentioned that when you bathe, you have to every day call out to Ganga 3 times and sprinkle water on your head, and that's equal to a Ganga Snan. And so we shouldn't forget to do this. And definitely Ganga, when we remember her and we in all devotion we call out to her, she'll come and purify us. And not only that, he always requests all devotees when they go to Mayapur to also make it a point to have a dip in the Ganga, because many times we get very busy going here and there, and then we just we don't have time for a bath. But he always gives a lot of importance to the Ganga Snan. And so by understanding how these rivers are so merciful, they've come only for purifying our dirty consciousness. And not only do they physically make us feel very, very fresh and radiant, also curing all our diseases. Prabhupada talks about one person in somewhere in Bengal, and he never took medicines at all. Any disease he had, he would just drink Ganga water, and that's all. He depended completely on Ganga to cure his diseases. So the Ganga has got many physical properties also for as keeping us, refreshing us, making us free from all diseases and so on, and mentally freshening us, refreshing and so on. And apart from that, spiritually also, she can give us more attachment for towards Krishna and Krishna Prema. So that's why she is so glorious. And sometimes we take all these things very, very too much for granted, because she is flowing as a river, she is readily available, and then we think, we don't really pay so much attention. But if we see how important she is, she's flowing right up, from the top, from Dhruvaloka, through so many wonderful and important planets, through Brahmapuri and to so many lands. And she's specially coming to Bharatvarsha through the request of Bhagirath, and in such a wonderful way. The whole pastime is so enthralling. The way he had to perform so much of sacrifices. And the whole day, almost only towards the end of his life, he pleased the Lord, and then Ganga agreed to come down to Bharatvarsha. So it's not an ordinary river. And Chaitanya, and she was such a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya also. And whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would enter the river as a boy playing, we always read how he used to go and swim. They all used to just go down and bathe in the Ganga. So whenever he would enter the river, then she was filled with so much love that she would actually overflow the banks. She was filled with ecstasy. So she's a great devotee and filled with Krishna Prem for the Lord. And so we must, uh, you know, take this opportunity through her mercy to actually purify us and give us Krishna Prema in our lives. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thus end the commentary on Srila Prabhupada's purports by Prem Padmani Devi Dasi. Hare Krishna.